여태까지 트러블은 없었어요. 왜냐하면 가족이 내가 무슬림인 걸 몰라요.
There is problems, and comparing it to perhaps cities like New York, London, and Paris, it's incomparable.
Korean people is not good knowledge about Islam.
Hey guys, I filmed this video the other day at the Itaewon Mosque, built in 1976. The opinions in this video are not my own. I'm just trying to share the perspective of various Muslims in Korea, and it by no means represents all Muslims in Korea. Thanks for watching. Also, low-key, sorry about the wind noise. I just got this wind muff, which I didn't have before, so sorry about that.
안녕하세요.
예.
그 이름이 살람 알레이쿰. 그 이름이 뭐예요?
하산.
하산.
My name is M. Sharik Said. I'm living in Korea 27 years. So my occupation main is trading and journalism.
My name is Huwaida and I'm traveling.
I'm Safwan. I've lived in Korea for a couple of years now.
Okay.
I'm a researcher for a university.
Just overall, like, what's your experience being a Muslim in Korea?
I think there's issues in respect of having halal food, access to prayer facilities, having time off for workers. Many Indonesian workers in this country, they don't have sufficient time off because they're working in the factories, so they're somewhat disenfranchised. It may very well be a class issue, but it is still an issue that they very much face. At the time of King Sejong, very much Korea for the Koreans.
Yeah.
Perhaps this sort of ideology is unpalatable for us in the West. If I were to say white pride in Britain or America, it's not acceptable at all.
Yeah.
Whereas in Korea, it's very much an accepted part of their society.
I think it's my second time here, and I think it's very good in a sense that we can find food, halal food easily, and you know, people are very nice.
I was very impressed to see that there's a Muslim prayer room at the airport over here. Japan was lovely, loved the people, very welcoming people, but I find that it's a smaller Muslim community, so they didn't have as many options, and I've been really surprised walking around the neighborhood over here just to see community, people from different ethnic background.
I was more worried about being racially profiled, to be honest,
okay.
but so far I've only had one weird stare and one person not help me in service, but that was it.
How do Koreans react to you being Muslim? Like, is there a negative reaction, or how is it in general?
I think it's somewhat conflicting, it's somewhat divergent. Perhaps first and foremost, the usual demographic of Muslims in Korea, they're either Arabs, Indian Pakistanis, Africans, Indonesians and Uzbeks. I don't squarely fit in those demographics because I'm kind of white passing. Most of the time I speak as if I'm a white individual, and I'm not kind of visually stigmatized as perhaps people from the rest of the world and their experiences indicate.
What about, like, so looks, if you do any Muslim prayer, or I saw she was wearing hijab, like, do people look at you weird, or like, especially in Japan, to compare?
Look, I think Japan, I found we didn't really have too many problems over there. If I'm honest, I think my sense is people here were a little bit more judgmental since we got here, but we haven't had any like terrible experiences. It's more just the side eye. We've kind of sadly gotten used to that.
What about just eating food, like halal food? Is it really challenging for Muslims to eat here, or?
I have to say there is a degree of challenge. I'm very, very strict in respect of the food that I eat. I don't eat pork. I don't I don't drink alcohol. I make sure that the meat I do eat, even if it's chicken, is killed in the zabiha. It's killed in the correct manner. So if you are very, very strict in this regard, I think it's somewhat difficult, particularly outside the major metropolises such as Busan, Daegu, Seoul.
Finding halal options here has been pretty good, which is surprising.
Okay.
We found some in like Gangnam and Itaewon here, so yeah.
메디스몰 적게 있어요. 기껏해야 할랄이 있는 곳이 한국에 이슬람 사원이 한 30몇 개 있어요. 근데 이제 그 근처에나 있지.
네.
그나마 여기 도시권에서는 그 서울.
서울에
서울도 이태원만
있어요.
이태원만 있고, 그리고 이제 이태원은 이제 사원이 있으니까 여기 모스크가 있으니까 할랄이 있지만 근데 이제 이태원을 벗어나잖아요. 그러니까 아웃 오브 이태원, 아웃사이드 이태원 하잖아요. 그러면은 한참 찾아야 돼요.
없어요.
예, 거의 없다고 봐도 돼요.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, I don't want to talk down to Japan because it's one of the best places I've been to. But I would say that, compared, it's so brilliant that you've got so many options. For example, like in Japan, we were living off of 7-Eleven snacks because there weren't any halal options.
Bro, suppose you ask me this question before 25 to 30 years, this is right question. Is a really problem. But these days, suppose is after 2010 and to 2023 this time, so it's no problem. Is available. Halal food is available for online. The local small businessman he's provide to you food in your floor in your place.
There are services where you can buy meat in bulk and have it shipped to your address, keep it in the freezer. But I know many of the Muslims in this country are lone Muslims, they're not with families, so it's somewhat difficult to stockpile halal meat and suitable food.
Have you ever had any like discrimination, like maybe people look at you like in a bad way or they say something or anything like that?
Never.
It's mostly like all positive experience.
Yeah.
Yes. No, really. His Korea, I just my experience is 27 years. His Korea security point of view is very strict.
I think I'm not an overt Muslim, but people I do know, I do pray very regularly. I don't live in Seoul. My local mosque is the Itaewon Mosque, so I'm usually around there. I have heard negative comments. I have heard a lot of negativity from Koreans.
이유야 제가 잘 모르겠지만 그냥 우리나라 한국 사람들은 이슬람이 싫은가 봐요. 뭐든 다 그런 건 아니겠지만 그냥 이슬람이 되게 좀 이미지도 안 좋고
안 좋아요.
그냥 뭐 맹목적으로 그 사람 이런 얘기하면 모르겠구나. 그냥 무조건 이유 없이 싫다기보다는 일단 이미지도 안 좋고 괜히 엮였다면 문제 생길 것 같고 뭐 그런 쪽에서 아마도 그랬겠죠. 왜냐면 한국 사람들은 그 좀 뒤가 찜찜한 거 싫어해요. 좀 찜찜한 거를 되게 싫어하고 그리고 이제 뭔가 사건에 연루되는 걸 되게 싫어해요. 그리고
싫어요.
그리고 자기가 책임지는 거를 되게 꺼려해요. 그러니까 일종의 책임은 어떻게든 안 지려고 그러죠. 한국 사람들은. 그래가지고 이게 국민성이 그래요. 그냥 국민성이 그래가지고 약간 이슬람 하면 아까도 말했듯이 약간 좀 테러리스트 이미지가 있다 보니까 그래가지고 웬만하면 이제 엮이고 싶지가 않겠죠. 그런 한국 사람들의 그런 성향이나 습성을 생각하면.
But I think the Korean psyche and the Korean culture isn't very much in your face. It's very much hidden as an undercurrent. It's whispers to the friends like that.
No. Korean people, they are friendly. Their hospitality is inspiring.
What about like people's kind of general knowledge about Islam? Like, because Ramadan was recent. And do you think like Korean people know much about Islam or Muslim customs or?
From my experience, that when I did tell people that I'm Muslim and I wouldn't eat pork, for example, they would be very, again, curious and ask questions.
But not like negative.
Nothing negative.
No, I see before 15 to 20 years, I really watching in a Ramadan time, many Koreans is coming in around this area, in Itaewon Central Mosque. How can just make Muslim fasting, break fasting and just iftar time.
이슬람에 대해서 많이 모르죠. 한국 사람들은 이슬람에 대해서 많이 모르고 있고요.
모르겠어요.
그나마 이슬람에서 잘 아는 사람들이 코리아의 크리스찬들인데.
네, 맞아요.
근데 크리스찬들이 이슬람을 좀 많이 아는데. 근데 문제는 이제 그 크리스찬들은 이슬람에 대한 이제 일종의 라이어, 그러니까 페이크 뉴스를 하도 많이 퍼뜨려가지고 한국 사람들은 그게 진짜인 줄 알아요.
I think they know that we don't eat pork.
Yeah.
But they don't know much about like what we do, that we need to pray, or I don't think they know much about it.
많이 한국 사람이 그 무슬림 없어요. 맞아요?
네, 없어요. 맞아요.
왜요?
뭐 이제 아무래도 이제 늦게 들어왔고요. 이슬람이 우리나라에 늦게 도입이 됐고 그리고 이제 약간 이슬람 하면은 한국에서는 약간 이미지가 안 좋은 이미지예요.
네.
그래가지고 그 보통 이제 이슬람 하면은 보통 사람들이 막 이렇게 좀 얘기하긴 그렇지만 뭐 IS라든지 아니면 뭐 알카에다, 탈레반 뭐 이런 거 있잖아요. 뭐 보코하람 그런 거.
First and foremost, I don't think they're taught things like this at school, primarily because of the cultural hegemony in place in Korea at the present time. Further, I think that their views have been shaped by the media.
Sometimes, suppose in any extremism with Korean in the Middle East, Iraq, and before I know, so some 2, 3, 4 days is a pupil is angry, and after is soft.
최근에 옛날에 있었던 한 13년 전인가 있었던 그 소말리아 해적 사건도 있었고 약간 이미지가 안 좋았기 때문에 그래가지고 그 이슬람 하면은 이제 이라크 전쟁이나 이라크 워라든지 아니면 옛날에 아프간 워 그렇죠 9/11 그 테러 사건 있었죠. 예, 그거 때문에라도 약간 한국에서는 이슬람 하면 이미지가 그렇게 안 좋은 편이에요.
Muslims are not part of mainstream society. We are dangerous, we're fundamentalists. So I think the othering and stigmatization of Muslims is by and large the widespread held idea within Korea.
무슬림 한국 사람 네트워크 없어요, 네?
있어요. 있는데 있긴 있는데 아는 사람만 알고 모르는 사람은 몰라요. 그리고 알려주지도 않습니다. 다른 한국인들이 그걸 알려주진 않아요. 그리고 한국인 그 그룹 코리안 그룹도 몇 개 있어요. 있는데 근데 아는 데만 알고 모르는 데는 또 모르고 심지어는 서로 그러니까 같은 한국 사람이 모슬렘인데 둘 다 모슬렘인데 서로가 모슬렘인 걸 몰라요.
몰라요.
예. 그리고 그 우리나라에서는 이슬람 이미지가 방금 그 물어봤잖아요.
네.
일단은 우리나라에서 이슬람 이미지가 안 좋은데 가장 큰 역할을 한 건 크리스찬들입니다. 그렇다고 제가 크리스찬 그 비난하는 건 아니지만 기독교를 제가 욕하는 건 아니지만은 근데 크리스찬들이 그 특히 코리안 크리스찬 그리고 그 외 크리스찬에 관련된 일종의 그 TV, 페이퍼, 그 크리스찬들의 네트워크, 그리고 라디오, 이런 말 그대로 이런 그 미디어, 크리스찬 미디어들이 코리안 크리스찬 미디어들이 그 이슬람에 대한 페이크 뉴스를 엄청 많이 퍼뜨렸어요.
그럼 이슬람 미디어 없어요?
이슬람 미디어
조금 있어요.
이슬람 미디어는 아예 없죠.
네.
없죠. 끼케야 이제 한국 방송에서 가끔 이제 스페셜 그로 할 때 다루는 건 있어도 실제로 코리아 안에 이슬람 방송은 없어요. 근데 옛날에 이슬람 방송이 하나 있었어요. 유튜버. 근데 그 사람은 개인 유튜버예요.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you really liked the video, please hit the like button, and I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. If you had any questions or comments about the video, please just put it in the comments down below. Thanks so much.